De Bruyne's corner. Haaland! Goal! It's Mo Salah! It's Mo Salah! Absolutely sensational!
And we're live. Welcome back for another deadline stream. Good morning, everyone. How are we all today? As always, I've left it way too late deciding what to do with my team, and I'm going to be making some transfers during the stream, and I'm not even sure exactly what those moves are yet. You know what? Annoyingly, Palmer went down in price last night. Did you guys see the price changes? But now that I look at it more, I'm kind of glad it happened because I might end up doing something completely different. I was going to sell Palmer for Dango last night, and I was going to, Palmer to Dango and Gw3 to Gw3. Did anyone have Palmer for the price fall last night? I mean, how annoying was that? Type 1 in chat if they should make price changes transparent, or type 2 in the chat if you think it's good that the price changes are a mystery. You content creators are huge overthinkers. Oh, trust me, Anthony, we absolutely are. We absolutely are. I mean, we have to. It's what we do, innit? We do FPL for a living, so we sit here all day thinking and thinking, overthinking, deciding what to do. Is that the right move? Is it the wrong move? Often what happens is the first thing I think of was the best thing, and the last thing I think of wasn't. Pretty divided on the price changes. So last night, Van der Ven, Livramento, Grealish, and Semenyo went up. 8 Nori went back down to where he started, 6 mil. Who else went down? Marlon went down again. Watkins went down. That's annoying. I've got Watkins. I know a lot of you do. Palmer went down was obviously the other notable one. So, yeah, that's a bit annoying. But I'm probably going to make completely different moves now. So maybe it'll work out. We'll see. Austin, thank you for the 37 months. He says, morning, Oscar. Wood or Bruno captain? Good luck, everyone. I'm on Bruno captain, and that's not changing personally. And I know some of you are not going to like that, but I just think Burnley home. If I'm not going to captain Bruno home to Burnley, when am I? I know Man United are like rock bottom right now. They just got knocked out of the League Cup by League 2 Grimsby, but it'll be a full strength team. I just still think it could be like a 3-4-0 game. Trini says, are you streaming already? I now came back from a date and forgot my team. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock UK time. We just went live. How did the date go? So yeah, what was I saying? I think I'm going to actually sell Strand Larsen now, which absolutely pains me because I love him. Do you make transfers during live streams or before? Usually it's during the streams. I like to make my transfers as late as possible because the closer you make a move to the deadline, the most up-to-date information you can have. I worded that horribly, but the later you leave it, the more information you have. So often I do my transfers like 15 minutes from deadline, because you never know, there could be some kind of leak that affects your plans. Or, you know, imagine 20 minutes from the deadline, Fabrizio tweets Strand Larsen to Newcastle, here we go. He's not going. It looks like he's not going to play this week anyway. I don't know if you guys have seen the news, but Pereira said he's a doubt. And then last night I saw this tweet. Strand Larsen's not at the Wolves team hotel this evening and expected to miss the game against Everton tomorrow. In today's press conference, Pereira cast doubt on Larsen's involvement due to an Achilles issue. Welcome all to the stream. We've got Luke here, we've got Peshang, we've got CH, we've got Oogie Boogie, Bradley here, George. Good to see lots of members. Josh is here, Ben, FPL Nick, 24K well, Cheeseman Chris, Hydro, Scrabble, Otto, Noctambuli, Nat the One. Good to see you all here. Welcome to the stream. What transfers are you guys all making this week? Henning, how we doing? Oyvind, good to see you all. Chinloyd in the chat. What transfers is everyone making? Are you selling Palmer? Who are you selling for? Tuna says, with Isak likely to go to Liverpool, who will be most affected? Ekatike or Gakpo? Milenkovic captain's a better pick than Bruno Fernandes. You go for it, Tuna. Fair play if that comes off. I hope it does, because I've got Murillo. I hope they get a clean sheet and maybe you get a goal as well. In terms of who's affected, it could be either of them. Like Ekatike and Isak, they both could play down the left. I'm actually looking at buying Gakpo, as mad as that sounds, despite the potential Isak move. I know some of you don't like FPL review, but I was fiddling around with the default minutes just before going live, and by default he's on 72 minutes, which I think is way too harsh. He's just played back-to-back 90s, and if you knock him up to like, I don't know, 85 this week, 80 in Gameweek 4, then obviously they've got Burnley after the break as well. Suddenly he becomes a really, really interesting pick. So I'm going to go, I think, Palmer to Gakpo or Semenyo. And then it'll be Strand Larsen to Gyökeres. What do you think about that? So let's see, what are you guys making? What moves are you making? Palmer to Anderson or Gibbs White. Paul's got his free hit active. Jay says Palmer and Strand Larsen with the face palm focal emoji. Josh says I free hit last night and instantly regret it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad week. Obviously it depends on your team and so on. Day 8 of calling Focal Spexy Giza. Who should I replace Fulcry with? João Pedro, Mateta, Ekatike or Wood? I think if I was going for any of those, it'd be Wood. I like Mateta second most, I would say. Palmer situation. Maresca says he's out, so no Palmer this week. I'm guessing he'll be back game week 4. He's not been called up for England duty. Go with Ndoye. I looked at Ndoye. He's 6 mil, so I'm priced out of doing Palmer to Ndoye and Q to Gyökeres by 0.1 mil now. OP Talent, thanks for your super chat. It says play for Bruggen against City or Dubravka against United. Captain Haaland versus Verbruggen or Bruno versus Dubravka. I'll be honest with you. I think they're both conceding. They're both going to get you 1 or 2 points. So there's nothing in that. Let's have a look at what the clean sheet odds are saying. Courtesy of this really great website I came across, fpl.page, made by that guy FPL Focal. Let's see what are the odds saying. So clean sheet odds. Burnley 10%, Brighton 15%. So go for Bruggen. Just for the 5%. Haaland or Bruno? Captain, that's an interesting one. Oh, if I had both, I think I'd be going Haaland if I had both. Yeah, I think it would be Haaland if I had both. We're going to give away actually some more season premium memberships to the Focal app and fpl.page, so make sure you've got it installed. We'll give those away in a bit. Yeah, captaincy then. Let's do a poll. Who's your captain? So we go Haaland, Bruno. I mean, do we go Salah and other? I think it has to be, doesn't it? I mean, let us know in chat if you're going other. I bet you loads of you are going Wood, aren't you? And I would like to have included him on the poll. If you go other, let us know though. Is it Wood or is it someone else? Oh, I'm dreading Wood's ownership this week. Oh, everyone's going Wood. I'm actually dreading Wood's effective ownership this week. It's going to be absolutely killer if he smashes it against West Ham. Right, Chris says, cold bloody Palmer. Immediately transferred him out for Gordon, then he got sent off. -4 for Cunha, and then I saw them get beat by Grimsby. Did you already take the -4, Chris? This is why I always make last minute transfers, because just things can change drastically. Like, he played 90 against Grimsby, they got knocked out. I still think Cunha's great though. I still think he's solid. Mark says, what's the best wildcard team? I could do a wildcard draft. I'll have to think about that. Who would I have? Do you want me to do a wildcard draft? God, where'd you even start? Would I go Haaland? Would you guys have Haaland and Salah in the wildcard? Probably have Kuka. Oh god, it's actually hard to think about a wildcard. Kukurea. I'd have Semenyo. I think I'd keep Reinders. Oh god, I'd have to keep Bruno, I think, as well, because it's Burnley home. I'd have Gyökeres for sure. I think I'd keep Watkins even. What's that? Nothing in the bank. I'd keep Porro for sure. So I'd find a way to squeeze Gabriel in. I'd probably have to lose Murillo. Can you see that on your screen? Yeah. It'd be along these lines. I'd probably leave Sanchez in. I wouldn't change too much actually. That's -1.1 mil though, so that doesn't work. And then, yeah, and then probably Watkins to Wood. That works. Yeah, that's 0.1 mil in the bank. I think I'd go something like that. The defence isn't quite right. Probably just swap Anderson to a different 4.5 that you could start this week. Maybe Dorgu, but that's not very inspiring pick. But I think something like that if I was wildcarding. That'd be the wildcard draft. You could go Mateta over Wood. You could go João Pedro. There's a few variations there. You might not want to go with Bruno. Hab says Semenyo or Sarr. It's a classic form versus fixtures, he says. Yeah, good, really good question. I was looking at both Semenyo and Sarr, and Semenyo is better. Basically, what it boils down to is what you can do with the extra money. Because Semenyo's gone up again last night. So, how much is Semenyo now? He's like 7.3, I think. So you're talking about a 0.8 mil difference. So it depends what can you do with that 0.8 mil. You know, like if I did that and I had the 8.8 mil, then game week 4 I could go Romero to Munoz for Sunderland home. You know, those sort of options suddenly open up. Or, you know, I could go Rodgers to Gakpo for Burnley. Like there's suddenly loads of options that open up when you got the extra money. So it does depend on your team, which is, I guess, is very often the case with these questions. It's team dependent and what you can do with that money. I like Sarr. I think Sarr's great. I really like Sarr. I said it in all the preseason videos. He's my favourite 6.5 mil mid, and I think that's what he's emerging as now compared to the others. But I guess Kudus is nice. Is there anyone else? Yeah, I mean Sarr's my favourite still. Nimble says, hi Focal and chat, sell Strand Larsen or Fulkrug. I would prioritise Fulkrug, definitely. I'm reluctant to sell Strand Larsen. Like, it looks like he's going to miss this game. And then I know he does have Newcastle away. But look at the run from Game Week 5. I guess you can't see that. It's Leeds home, Spurs away, Brighton home, Sunderland away, Burnley home. So it's a really nice run of games from Game Week 5 onwards. So definitely sell Fulkrug first. We just have to hope that Newcastle don't buy him, because that would probably ruin him as an option in FPL. Because they've signed Wolfenmader, right, for, what was it, £65 million? As the Isak replacement, you'd imagine. Tommy says, watch you on here or the FPL show? The FPL show? Did anyone see it? I was on the FPL show on TV yesterday. I was so nervous. But it went well. I think I got a clip of it somewhere here. That said, they asked me what transfers I was making, and what the transfers I'm going to end up making are completely different to what I said, so that's not great. Here we go.
Or has that changed?
I'm really like going back and forth on this because as boring as it is, I
with
love
Harry
to
as
roll
well.
in FPL because it just makes you so flexible. Like,
It's so fun, isn't it, having that?
Yeah, like the things
ever
you
since
can-
we've got more transfers, I know what
Exactly,
you mean.
because now we can have up to 5. Like if I came back from the international break with 3 transfers, there's so much I can do there. You know, maybe
think I
Isak
said I was
doesn't join
going
Liverpool,
Sarr.
I'll buy Ekatike and that sort of thing. I'll buy Gakpo. But it's like I'm
I
thinking
might buy
about the
Gakpo.
potential points that I could lose by not selling Palmer. So I'm also considering Palmer to Sarr or Semenyo, something like that. And then I've got the funds to do Gw up to a 7.5 mil forward like Mateta or Wood. So I'm looking at potential. If the deadline was in 10 minutes, I'm probably making those 2 transfers. Yeah.
Or is that
Anyway, yeah, I was proper nervous, but it went all right. And then, like, on the drive home back, I was like, come on, we did it, we did it. I was actually talking to myself in the car because I was, like, so hyped that I didn't mess up. Because I was trying not to think. It goes literally on TV around the world, so it's quite, like, intimidating to think about. It's not even just the UK. It goes on Sky and TNT in the UK, but it's, like, live on TV around the world. So I was like, please do not think about it when we're doing this. But no, I really enjoyed it, and they want me to come back, so it went well, I think. Daz says, thanks for all the content. What do you think of Palmer to Sarr or Kudus? No Guna bias, please. And Gw to Mateta or Wood? I prefer Sarr to Kudus, yeah. I like that. And Gw to Mateta and Wood looks good as well. If I was going either, I'd say Wood. Again, it does depend on chip strategy. Because some people are going free hit 6. And that makes Wood less appealing. Because if you're free hitting in 6, you're going to get Wood anyway. I think he's got Burnley home. You did a great job on TV, Oscar. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was buzzing with how it went. Yeah, they said I sounded confident, but honestly, in my head, I was dying inside. I was just like, please just do not mess up. Yeah, I think I would go Wood and Sarr if I was doing that. I like those moves. I've had a change of heart, and I think what I'm going to actually do, I'll show you guys. I think what I'm going to do is Strand Larsen to Gyökeres and then Palmer to Semenyo or Gakpo. Now, obviously, the problem with Gakpo is if Isak joins, which I guess you'd say is likely now, then what's his minutes like longer term? He's got Burnley away game week 4. He's got Everton home game week 5. I'd like to think he starts those games and maybe comes off early. And then it's just, do I free hit in 6 or wildcard? If I wildcard in 6, then I think he's really nice for the next 3 game weeks. If I free hit 6, then obviously I get him back for Chelsea game week 7, which isn't so good. But I think he's got a lot of potential for like a short-term play for 3 weeks. Isak's not had a pre-season. He's going to be getting up to fitness. So I'm looking at that now, and I'm probably going to regret changing my mind late as often. You know what, actually, this season, the late decisions I've made so far have been good ones. Who was here on the last week's stream when I was going back and forth on Sanchez versus Dubravka? I was a broken man in that stream. It was Sanchez versus Dubravka, and it was Salah versus Palmer captaincy. And obviously, Palmer ended up injured anyway, but I think that would have been the right decision if he'd started that game, because they beat them 5-1 without Palmer. So that was unlucky, but I got Dubravka right. Right, let me keep going with the questions. I'm a bit behind. Bear with me. Jonathan says Johnson versus Kudus versus Grealish on a free hit. On a free hit, I wouldn't have any of them. Probably Kudus if I had to pick one of those. Just trying to think, is there any better options though? Like I'd rather have Semenyo probably, but I like Kudus. You might have Semenyo already though. I would say Kudus out of those options. Yeah. Mr. F says, hey Oscar, wildcard draft, Sarr, De Ligt, Trippier, Milenkovic, Alanga, Reinders, Salah, Bruno, Enzo, Wood, and João Pedro, Petrovic, Ekatike, Richards, and Anderson on the bench, and Maverick picks. Yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere near Trippier. Like it could be any given game week that Livramento starts right back, Hall left back. I'd go Dorgu over De Ligt. I wouldn't go Enzo. Do I still have... Yeah. That was the wildcard draft I put together, so feel free to screenshot that. I did just put it together in the space of like a minute though, so take it with a pinch of salt, but it's got some similarities but some differences for sure. Yeah, definitely some Maverick picks in there. Not a bad team though, but those are a few changes I would make. Like delete to Dorgu, get rid of Trippier. Or we probably wouldn't go Enzo either. How much do you think Xavi Simons will cost? Maybe 7 mil? What do you guys reckon? How much for Xavi Simons? Maybe 7 mil? Don't know if I'll go 7.5 when you've got Coolies for 6.5. That doesn't make sense really, does it? 8 mil? 7.5? 6.5? They've got to price him similarly to Kudus, otherwise it just, why would you ever go for him over Kudus? Unless he obviously absolutely smashes it. Right. Bradley says, thoughts on Palmer to 5 mil, maybe Saar, Watkins to Haaland for free. I've got 5.5 mil Anderson and Salah, Palmer to Semenyo, Gu to Wood. No, I'm not a fan of that. I get the appeal, like having Haaland's nice, but losing Watkins and having to have a 5 mil mid, not keen on that personally, Bradley. I think it hurts your balance too much. I much prefer the second option, Palmer to Semenyo, Gu to Wood. I would do that. Oogie Boogie says, peak FPL not using Haaland / Salah, midfielder plus striker blanks. Not using them. In my team, I've got Salah, but I'm vice captaining him. But I've not been impressed by Salah the first 2 game weeks, I have to be honest. But I'm going to keep him. Like, you can't get rid of him, especially with the fixtures after Arsenal. Luke says, hi, AFCON extra transfers, will they be on top of already banked? Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, Gameweek 16, we get 5 free transfers. And that's regardless of what you had the week before. So if you had 4 transfers in Gameweek 15, you'll have 5 the next week. If you spend all your transfers in Gameweek 15, so you've got none left, you're going to get topped up to 5 free transfers in Gameweek 16. So obviously the meta is you spend all your transfers before Gameweek 16 because everyone's going to be on 5. So basically we all get an extra little wildcard in essence. Chris says, pick 3 to start. Consa, Gabriel, Porro, Murillo. Consa, Porro, Murillo, I would say, and bench Gabriel away at Anfield. How are you? Says, Alanga, captain. If I do 2 free transfers Gameweek 3 and then free hit, do I get 2 free transfers Gameweek 4? Yeah, if you make 2 transfers, activate your free hit, you'll go back to the transfers you had before. So yeah, you'll have 2 free transfers next week if you free hit. Probably wouldn't captain Alanga, it's a little bit rogue. I mean, I don't hate it because it's a great fixture, but I think there's better options this week. What's the captain widget actually saying? Let's have a look. Bruno 5 stars, Haaland, Salah and Cunha 3 and Bumo 2. So Wood's not even in the top 5 on the captaincy widget. I'm guessing he'd be like 6th though. I'm guessing. He must be very close up there. Chen says, does Eze start against Liverpool, Eze or Anderson? I probably wouldn't buy Eze. I mean, Saka's back in a few weeks as well, so I think there's a good chance he does, but I wouldn't be surprised if Arteta starts with Martinelli and then Eze comes on. But I don't know, Martinelli seems a little bit out of favour, so I'm not sure exactly what he's going to do there. Could be Madueke and Martinelli starting out on the wings, and Eze comes on since it's his debut, but we'll see. I wouldn't buy him. You could get him in draft if you're playing that. Struggling with this game, says, hi Oscar, thoughts on Palmer to Saar / Kudus and Gu to Pedro / Wood. No Man United players, triple Liverpool attack. I'll have massive bench headaches, but at the same time, team is looking bad this week. Yeah, I like the Palmer to Saar Gu up to a 7.5 mil combination. I think that's what lots of people are doing. I prefer Sarr to Kudus, and I prefer Wood to João Pedro, but it's very close. Again, depends on chip strategy. Like, Wood is amazing for the next 4 besides Arsenal in Game Week 4, but if you're free hit in Game Week 6, then that reduces Wood's appeal a bit. Or if you're wildcard in Game Week 6. Not sure yet what I'm going to do, but I'm thinking about wildcarding or free hitting Game Week 6 myself, which is why I mention it. But yeah, I like those moves. I think I think that's an obvious way to go. Palmer to Sarr and then Gw up to one of the 7.5 mil forwards. Mateta is also worth looking at, but yeah, if I was picking one, it'd be Wood. Akil says, is there merit to free hitting? Says, I have Palmer, Watkins, Rutte and Rodgers. Plan to wildcard in Game Week 7, or should I save it? You already have Gakpo. No, save it. Oh, you're right. How many transfers have you got, Akil? You could just sell Palmer. If you've got 2 transfers, sell Palmer and Rutte. If you don't have Bruno, you could do Palmer to Bruno. And then if you need the second transfer, if you've got one, Rutte to Semenyo, Sarr. Not worth a free hit for that. Definitely not. Rodgers and Watkins are fine. I know they've blanked twice in a row, but they're fine. Igor says, start Dewsbury Hall or Rutte with an injury with a cameo potential. I would start Dewsbury Hall. And Rutte, if he does play, he's got City anyway, so I would say Dewsbury Hall. Who to bench? Asked Dave. Reinders or Sarr? Oof. Oh, reluctantly, I think I'd bench Sarr, you know. 50-50 that one. Really is 50-50. Sarr's got a great record against Villa as well. Last season he scored 2 goals in 1 game, and I think it was a goal and assist the other. 3 goals, 1 assist last season. But yeah, he's never blanked against them in the league. So that is a really tricky one. And obviously Villa have got Anana and Camara both out as well. So it could be like Tielemans and McGinn CDM or something. So that one's really close. You know what? I think I'd probably bench Reinders and start Sarr. I think that's what I would do there. Really, it's a 50-50, but yeah, I'd bench Reinders. Kay says, Haaland, João Pedro or Bruno for captain. If I had all 3, I'd probably go Haaland myself. Bruno vice. Otherwise Bruno, because I don't have Haaland. That's why I'm captaining Bruno. João Pedro's nice. Obviously, he'll be on pens with Palmer out. There's lots of nice options this week. We've got like Wood's a good option as well. You could just go Salah. Like when in doubt, go Salah. I didn't see who that was, but thank you for the 2 months. Message retracted and member for 2 months. You took a photo of me at Glastonbury. You're watching me, Oscar. Did you really, Ben? I don't believe you. Send me a photo. Send me the photo in DMs. I'm devastated. There's no Glasgow next year. So much fun there. Kai says, why wildcard 6? If for Arsenal players can't use free transfers. It's just like there's a fixture swing, basically. Let me go back over here to the ticker. Game Week 6. So you've got like Bournemouth against Leeds, Man City, Burnley home. So I'd get Haaland in. Possibly add a third City asset, maybe defender, or maybe the keeper situation's clear. Forest have got Sunderland home. Again, this also means it's a free hit opportunity because you could free hit like triple Forest or you know double defence and Wood, that sort of thing. Spurs have got Wolves home, and then they've got Leeds after that. So yeah, there's lots of ways you can go there. Arsenal have got Newcastle, so yeah, if you've got Newcastle assets, you could look to drop them then. Palace's fixtures turn as well. Liverpool, Everton, Bournemouth, Arsenal. So opportunity to hop off Palace assets. So yeah, just some early thoughts, but it's a wildcard window for sure. Thank you everyone for being here. If you're enjoying the stream so far, do hit like on it and make sure you're subscribed. I do these streams every deadline and videos during the week. Would you recommend benching Palmer? I really don't know what to do with him. I mean, if you've got like decent depth, I really don't mind benching him. I would love to bench him myself this week if I had better depth. But I've got Anderson who's got Chelsea and I've got a Stev who's got Man United. So, how's Teddy? Yeah, he's good. He's asleep. He's asleep under the desk. He was on my lap just before he went live, but he doesn't. He's a bit shy with the streams these days. He just disappears. The Stev better call. What are the clean sheet odds actually? Fulham versus Burnley. Burnley 10%, Fulham 14. Yeah, no, I think I've got it right there. Anderson first on bench. Ed Steve, thanks for the super chat. It says bench 1 out of Gakpo, Rodgers and Reinders. I'll definitely start Rodgers, and I'd probably start Reinders. So I think it'd be Gakpo on the bench, yeah. For a free hit, João Pedro or Wood? What's your... who you have as strikers if it's between those? I think if I was on a free hit, I'd have Haaland, Wood and João Pedro. But I'd say Wood. Senya Lump. Morning, Oscar. Wishing you a good gaming. Love you. Good morning, Senya Lump. Right. How many players have you guys got from the scout selection? Let's have a look at the team. So they've gone Sells in goal. They've gone Cucurella, Pedro Porro, Dorgu, Bruno captain, Cunha, Gibbs White and Damsgaard, Haaland, Wood and João Pedro. So I've got Porro, Bruno. I've got 2. Oh mate, I'm in so much trouble. Has anyone got more than 2? Combat Waffle's got 2. Luke's got 1. Okay, I feel better now. That's the lowest I've had all season. And even if I make my 2 transfers, I'll still have 2. Oh man. 7 on a free hit. Yeah, on a free hit, I guess you'd resemble that more. 5, 3, 3. Yeah, just 2 for me. Damn. Mine is literally Porro and Bruno. Can I count it as 3 if it's Bruno captain? Probably not. Amy Pan says, 1 free transfer, 3.8 mil in the bank. Sanchez, Porro, Van de Ven, Murillo, Bruno, Salah, Sarr, Kudus, Reinders, Watkins and João Pedro. Benches Dubravka, Gw3, Wan-Bissaka and a Stev. Palmer to Kudus is done. What are your thoughts? So you've got 3.8 mil. Just thinking if there's a second move worth making, like you can afford Gw3 to Wood, for example, right? But you'd have to bench Sarr. So yeah, I think that's okay. You could just leave it at that. I think that's fine. Yeah, I mean, is anyone considering that? Because obviously, when you go Palmer down to like Sarr or Semenyo, you've got the money to go Gw3 up to one of those 7.5-ish strikers. Is anyone not doing that second move to avoid a benching headache? Because like you're gonna have to bench someone like Sarr, aren't you? Or I don't know, Reinders or someone like that, Kudus. So is anyone just not doing the second move? So you have 2 transfers coming back from the break. I think that's perfectly fine as well to do that. Anyone else top 10k in the Focal League? I don't think I even am, you know. Where is it? I'm 36k in the Focal League. How many managers are in that league? What the hell? If anyone's not in the league, the code's below. I think it's DDQIOU. DDQIOU is the code. There's an auto join link in the description. 24th in the Focal League. Let's have a quick look at it. David is top. He's 27th in the world. What? He's got Timber and Pickford last week. Mate, what is this team? He smashed it. Yeah, João Pedro. Oh, he got unlucky with captaincy as well. He could have been right up there, like first in the world. He had Timber and Pickford. 39 points. I bet you that's more than a lot of teams out there. I got 42 last game week. He got 3 points fewer just between Pickford and Timber. Oh, mate. What a team. Fair play if you're watching this stream for having Timber in your team. This is the thing, like, I would never go near Timber just because I'm worried maybe White will share minutes with him at some point. But what do I know? He just got 24 points. You're 24th in the world. If I was buying an Arsenal defender, it'd be Gabriel. Who to replace Full Crew with? I think Wood's great, Mateta's great, João Pedro. But you need a bit extra money, obviously. So I guess what a lot of people are doing is Palmer down to a cheaper mid if they've got Palmer. By the way, if anyone here watching doesn't even have Palmer, you're probably sick of us talking about Palmer. And I'm sorry if that's you, because obviously he's the talk of the week because he was so highly owned. But I guess there's a lot of you still watching that never had him to begin with. And you're probably just like, can we not talk about Palmer anymore? Are you doing the transfer? I'm waiting on you. I'll do it a bit nearer the deadline. I always do my transfers near deadline, just in case there's any last minute news or leaks or anything that could change my plans. I'm thinking Strand Larsen to Gyökeres and Palmer to Gakpo. That's where I'm at. Jonathan says he's on a free hit. Dango Grealish. Dango's an interesting one. Dango Grealish, MB, and is that Mbeumo and Cucurella? Pope, Dorgu, Tarkowski and Cucurella. If that... I'm struggling to follow this one. It's not even a complete team, is it? Is this like A versus B? It's not A versus B either. How many? That's like 7, 8 players. It's not even a full 11. I'm sorry, Jonathan. What's the question here? I wouldn't have Grealish on a free hit, if that's what you're asking. The rest I pretty much agree with, yeah. MBNCU. I like Dango on a free hit. I was actually going to buy him, or I was thinking of buying him, but then Palmer fell in price last night, so now I'm priced out of that. I was going to do Palmer to Dango and Gw to Gyökeres. This might be like Arsenal fan delusion, but I really want Gyökeres. I just have a feeling he's going to be where the template ends up in a few weeks, and it'd be funny to come back to this to see if that's completely right or completely wrong. I just think that could be where people end up. Havertz is out for a while. It could be as much as a couple of months. He's on penalties. Obviously the fixtures aren't great, but I'm not necessarily put off by some difficult fixtures. Like, it's going to lead to more open, expansive games, isn't it? Arsenal are going to be able to counter. So, it's not necessarily a bad thing when you look at bad fixtures like that. Madman says 2 free transfers. Palmer, Marmish to Bruno Reinders. I like that, yeah. Can you... You must be able to afford someone better than Reinders. Like, if I was... I mean, you could consider Semenyo. By the way, I'm actually looking at buying Gakpo, and I've not really mentioned him at all, but I'm looking at Gakpo, but it might book me into a Game Week 6 free hit or wildcard. I just think for the next few weeks, he could be brilliant. Like, he's returned in his first 2 games. I know Arsenal home's not great, but then it's Burnley and then it's Everton. So it potentially will be for 3 weeks. So it's like Gakpo versus Semenyo for 3 weeks. I think that's quite close. So I'm actually thinking Gakpo. That's where I'm at, and I'm probably not going to change my mind now because it stresses me out changing my mind during streams. Jonathan says, sorry mate, 50 cars. Erling, Pedro, characters, cars, okay. 50 characters, Erling, João Pedro and Wood in attack. Okay, so Dango Grealish. I'm still not sure who MB and CU is. Can anyone confirm who MB and CU is? Pope, Dorgu, Tarkowski, Cucurella. Yeah, I like that team. I like that draft. I would go with the same attack. The only thing I might change is Grealish to someone else. Like a Semenyo, if you can afford him. I'm trying to think who else there is for 1 week. I don't dislike Grealish though. That's a nice draft. That's a nice free hit. Oh, you could go like Barnes. They've got Leeds. I think Barnes or Elanga. Yeah, Lau just said Elanga as well. I think I'd probably go for a Newcastle mid versus Leeds over Grealish versus Wolves. Tom Stevenson says he's 7th in the Focal League at the moment with a great Game Week 2 free hit. You are 7th in the Focal League. You are not. Tom Stevenson. 7th in the Focal League is Eura. Are you talking about another league? Members League? I do not see you here. Oh, is it the Discord League? There you are. Yeah, you. Okay, I see you now. 80 points you got last week. You almost got double my score. Fair play. Nice free hit. Unlucky with Palmer. Who came off your bench? Senesi. So you got Senesi's 9 points off your bench as well. I mean, that's a great output on a free hit. I'd be really happy if I got something like that from it. Nice work, Tom. Brian says, should I go Palmer to Bruno or Semenyo? I think Bruno, if I was actually picking a Palmer replacement and I didn't have Bruno. Yeah, I would say Bruno. I know, like, everyone's saying you're mad because they just lost to Burnley, to Grimsby in the League Cup, but my read on that Burnley game is there's going to be lots of goals in that still. So I still think Bruno's great. And I'm captaining him, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Let's see what happens. Is anyone else captaining Bruno, or are you put off by their form? It's weird, isn't it? Like, against Arsenal, they looked great game week 1. Fulham, a bit disappointing to draw, and then it just got even worse, like game on game, and then knocked out by Grimsby. Alfred says, not any concern selling Palmer now after the decrease. Same boat. I'm considering Kudus and Wood, though, for Palmer and Gw3. Why would I be concerned after a price decrease? It doesn't affect my thinking if a player's fallen in price. It's annoying, don't get me wrong. It's really annoying that he fell in price last night because I didn't think he would. It was very... Live FPL was tracking it and it was like a very late change. And obviously I'm not staying up till 2:30 UK time when I was up at like 7 this morning. I'm already on a lack of sleep as it is. I couldn't stay up to see if Palmer was going to drop, and annoyingly he did. But I guess that's the advantage for some being in other time zones. But then the disadvantage is, like right now, if you live in, I don't know, North America, South America, it's the early hours. Is anyone tuned in right now in North or South America? If so, where are you and what time is it? What time is it where you are? I know some people stay up all night for these streams, and some people set alarms, you know, like 3 in the morning. So fair play if that's you, because obviously that's the disadvantage. Like sometimes there's leaks in deadline streams that if you're asleep you don't get access to, or you miss the leaks because you're asleep, which is fair enough. It's 1:41 in the morning in California. 6:11 PM in Australia. Arizona, 1:41 AM. Yeah, I mean, it's. I guess you haven't been to bed yet at that time. I guess if anyone's like East Coast, they might have set a super early alarm, but I think there'd be very few. 4:30 AM. Is that Central Time? Are you rolling? No, I'm not, Atom. I'm going to make 2 transfers. It's probably going to be Strand Larsen to Gyökeres and Palmer to Gakpo or Semenyo. Patrick says, am I being silly with Palmer to Gakpo and Larsen to Gyökeres for a -4? It's the same moves I'm considering, Patrick. For a -4, probably... I'm not so keen on it for a hit. Not so much for a -4. I don't hate it, but maybe not for a -4. Probably wouldn't do it for a hit. I've got 2 transfers, so I'll spend both of them. Dylan says, Elanga or Barnes on a free hit? That's honestly a coin toss. I would probably say Barnes. Gordon's suspended, so surely he's nailed on for like at least 80 plus. Might not happen, but I like Barnes slightly more than Elanga. Like, he's more clinical. Barnes just feels likelier to me to haul somehow than Elanga. Elanga doesn't feel like a haul player. Barnes feels like he could just come out of a brace against Leeds and I wouldn't be surprised. Whereas Elanga's one of those, like he scores the odd goal here and there, might get the assist. I think they probably do put a few pass leads though, and they're both great. And you could even go both on a free hit. I don't dislike that. Elanga could play as a 9. Is that a good thing? I think Gordon's actually a better FPL asset playing left wing. You know, Gordon was playing striker, wasn't he? Because Isak's been out, and I actually think Gordon's a better FPL asset playing left wing. Yeah, Wood is a good captain this week. I mean, let's have a look at the captain poll. 35% Bruno, 22% Haaland, 28% other, 15% Salah. So yeah, I think loads and loads are going Wood this week. So, well done to anyone that got Timber last week. Who's going to be king of the game week, Game Week 3? Chuck your guesses in the chat. I'm actually going to go with one of the Newcastle mids. I'm going to go Barnes. Barnes, king of the game week. You heard it here first. What do you reckon? Cunha? Oh yeah, Man United mids are a good shout. Elanga, Wood, Dorgu. Dorgu I could actually see. If he keeps a clean sheet and scores, then he could definitely take it with 15 points. Brennan and Bumo. Defo Barnes. And Doi Trust. Milenkovic, Thiago, Richarlison, Foster, Lyle Foster. I guess that's the only Foster. Sesko. Surely Sesko's got to start sooner or later. Surely. Porro. I'll take Porro. Uatara. Oh, Dylan, honestly, if it's Dango when I wanted to buy him and I couldn't now because I'm priced out, I'll be devastated. I really like Dango for 6 mil. Sunderland, great fixture. After that, the fixture's a bit middling, but I think he's a solid option. Matthew, thanks for the 34 months. He says, yes, Focal, bench Wirtz or Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall, not even close. Not even close, that one. Start Wirtz. I know, Arsenal's a difficult fixture, but you've got to start Wirtz at Anfield. Even if it's against Arsenal. Praying for the Van der Ven and Spence masterclass. I hope so, but the other two defenders for me, I've got Porro and Romero. I'm doubled up. What's your transfer plans? I am now thinking Strand Larsen to Gyökeres and Palmer to Semenyo or Gakpo. Mark says, can we go back to the wildcard one as I can't afford Rodgers to Gakpo as I'd like to keep Semenyo. Do you mean the wildcard draft? That one. Yeah, if I... hang on, this was a... was this a free hit? No, it was a wildcard. Yeah, Semenyo. Yeah, that works. 0.1 mil. If I was wildcarding it, it would be something like that. Yeah. That works. That gives me 0.1 mil in the bank, so I think you should all be able to afford that. And you play Dorgu over Gabriel this week, and then you've got a set and forget back three there. Gabriel, Porro, Cucurella. The midfield's nice. We'll have to see about Bruno as an FPL asset after this game week. I might just keep Bruno until he's playing Cam again under a new manager. So yeah, that was the wildcard draft I threw together. Maybe Rodgers you could swap out as well. Yeah, probably Sarr over Rodgers. So now you've got 0.6 mil, so that you've got more to play with there. Maybe Dorgu could be a better keeper. Sorry, better defender. Like a 5 mil one. I like that a lot. 0.6 mil as well, so you might find somewhere you'd want to spend that. Could be upgrading Dorgu. I don't dislike Dorgu for 4-5 though. You could go Raya, double Arsenal defence, but you might end up wanting Saka. Oh, Edzo, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much for that, Edzo. Appreciate your support. EF got one of those. W Jeb got one of those. Lewis got one of those. HB and Dylan got one. Thanks very much, Edzo. Appreciate your support. Does the nuke make a sound when that just went off? And is it loud? Smoke machine. Did it make a sound or was it quiet? No sound. Okay, fine. What's the reasoning behind transferring out Strand Larsen instead of Gw, both with Palmer out as well? So the thinking is, it looks like Strand Larsen's going to miss this game week. Pereira said he was a doubt. And then I saw this last night. He's not at the Wolves team hotel, expected to miss the game. And then it's Newcastle in Game Week 4, who've been really, really good defensively. They're the best team for XGC. Small sample size, 2 game weeks. But if I sell Strand Larsen instead, I can afford a lot more selling Palmer. Whereas if I sell Gw, the only player I can buy is Anderson. There's no one else I can afford. Palmer went down in price last night, so I no longer can afford one of the 6 mil mids. I was looking at Dango. So I can't afford Dango now. There are a few 5.9s, but they don't appeal to me. Like there is Damsgaard, he could do well against Sunderland. There is Paquetá. But now I'm thinking I could still go back to Strand Larsen when the fixtures turn nice again. But the next 2 game weeks might get 0 points this week. I hate to say this because he's like my favourite FPL asset, but and then it's Newcastle away. That could be a 2-pointer. Maybe not. My team value is not 100.3. You are correct, yeah. After last night's changes, 100.1. I can change that now, in fact. Thank you for the reminder. Where is it? That one, I think. Let's see. 100.1. There you go. That gave me no joy updating my team value down by 0.2 million. Your team's 100.6 mil. Damn. You must be smashing it rank-wise, Jack, to have that team value this early on. You've already got 0.5 mil more than me. What's everyone's team value? I was trying to see if Edzo said anything, but he didn't. He was just being very nice. Thank you again, Edzo, for that. What was I saying? So yeah, that was the thinking of selling Strand Larsen instead. I might end up wildcarding in Game Week 6 as well, so it'd be for 3 weeks, in which case I get Burnley and Everton are the notable fixtures out of Gakpo. The risk is Isak joining Liverpool, which... Do you guys think that's going to happen now? Will Isak go to Liverpool? The risk is... You think it will? You think he will? The risk is like maybe Gakpo's not completely nailed, but I'd like to think he would be for the next 3. No, but maybe in January. I mean, if that happens, like I'm absolutely laughing if I go Gakpo. 100.3 mil. More than me. Isak's already in Liverpool as we speak. Right. Bidding coming today, £120. £120, that's quite low. I think I need to chuck at least 100 million on that. Barnes not in squad today. Are you serious? I've not seen that. Although I've been streaming, so why would I have? Let's have a look. You're winding us up. Nicholas Jackson to buy, and here we go. I can't believe Newcastle just didn't grab Jackson on loan for the season. I think he's a bit underrated, Jackson. I know he gets memed a bit, but I actually think he's a bit underrated. I think he's a decent striker. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on Barnes. 13 million loan fee and a 17 million option to buy. Dylan says Palmer to Wood and Kudus. Palmer to Wood plus Kudus on Mateta and Semenyo. For next week, I was thinking of changing my double Forest defence to double Spurs or move on Tielemans. Yeah, double Spurs defence looks tricky. Game week 4, obviously, Arsenal away. Paqueta's rumoured heavily to Villa. Yeah, 70 mil. I can't see Bayern spending that as a backup to Kane. That doesn't make sense. But Chelsea somehow will get 70 mil for him because they just keep getting mad fees for players. Right, Palmer to Wood plus Kudus. I prefer Mateta and Semenyo. If you can only afford one or the other, yeah. Mateta and Semenyo I like more. I don't dislike selling a Forest defender next week. And you can keep one. It depends on the rest of your defence though, because obviously the fixtures after Arsenal are really nice. You've got Burnley and Sunderland back to back. How Are You says WTF is the logic for transfer profit taxed at 50%. Yeah, what is the reason for that? I guess it would be like it'd be so broken if you could wildcard and make like $1 million over an international break. Maybe that's the reason. There's probably another reason I'm missing. But yeah, for every 0.2 million they rise, you only get 0.1. Sonny Lump says, Captain Kudus, Ekitike or Watkins, you're looking for the upside. Oh, surely you've got better options, Senya Lump, than those three. I mean, if I had to pick one of them, I think it'd be Watkins, but there's a lot of players I'd put ahead of those three for captaincy this week. Bruno, Wood, Cunha, and Mbumo, Haaland, Salah, to name a few. But I'd say Watkins. Nat DeOne says, what to do with Palmer, Saka and Larson with Gw on the bench? I think you've got to prioritise the immediate issues, and Saka has to go. So you could sell Saka and Palmer. Don't know who you've got there, the rest of your team, so it's hard to answer. Like, you could go NUFC Will. He's so hit and miss. He's very hit and miss. There could be smoke where there's fire, but he's definitely been wrong before. I think I've even got him blocked. But yeah, it might be true. He's sometimes right. But yeah, maybe that'd be enough to put me off going Barnes on a free hit. Or a wild card, certainly. Maybe go Langer just to be safe. That's not great though. For the Newcastle attack. With no Isak, no Gordon, potentially no Barnes as well. Yeah, if you don't have Bruno, Nat, the one you could go like Palmer to Bruno, Saka to Semenyo, something like that. Or if you're looking for a short-term play, Gakpo is who I'm looking at. If you're thinking of wildcarding like Game Week 6. But you're going to have to sell those two first. And just keep Strand Larson and ride it out. Amir, thank you for becoming a FPL Focal member as well. Thank you very much, Amir, for the support. Appreciate that. Busted Flush says, João Pedro captain over Bruno. Start for Bruggen or Dubravka? I would start for Bruggen. These are the clean sheet odds this week. So obviously we're going to be going to the bottom, but we've got Burnley 10% is the lowest odds. Brighton's 15, so it's only 5% more, but I'd start for Bruggen. João Pedro captain. If I had João Pedro, I'd probably still be on Bruno, but I don't hate João Pedro captain. I don't hate it. Because of course he'll be on pens. His minutes were much better last game week. I think he's fine as a captain. A lot of good options this week. BTPP says Palmer, Saka and Strand Larson -4 to Haaland, Dango and Sar/Kudus. Yeah, I was thinking about this just now of Nat DeOne's question, because he's got those exact 3 players, and obviously you've got the option to go to Haaland for a hit. I don't think I would do it for a -4, personally. Probably not for a -4. It's not terrible for a set of 3 transfers though, but I think I wouldn't do that for a hit. I think I'd rather just replace Palmer Saka, unless obviously you've got no depth in your bench, no one good that comes on. if Strand Larsen misses out. Because Saka's out, Palmer's out, Strand Larsen's probably out. So it definitely does depend on your bench. I should caveat that. Like, if you've got a really weak bench, like you've got Estev coming on, then I probably would just take the hit, yeah. But it does depend on that. So it's hard to answer that without the context of who you play if you don't take the -4, if that makes sense. I prefer Sar to Dango, by the way. Way better than Dango. Anthony says, I need to bench someone from this midfield, but I'm struggling. Wirtz, Bruno, Elanga, Kudus, and Reinders. What are your thoughts? I think it would be Wirtz, you know. Out of all of those, I think Wirtz makes the most sense. Wirtz or Reinders? Like, there was a question earlier, Wirtz or Dewsbury Hall. And that one's more obvious, you start Wirtz. But Wirtz versus Reinders, what do you guys think? Would you start Wirtz against Arsenal or Reinders against Brighton? I think I'd start Reinders. Wirtz is going to be great from Gameweek 4. But I think I'd bench him with that midfield. Trochi says, I'd get Wolf Marder as soon as he's in game. I'll be honest, I don't know anything about him. I know he's a big striker. Scored something like, what was it, like 15 goals Bundesliga last season. Seen a couple of clips on Twitter. A few compilations already out there. Don't know anything about him. I'm definitely not buying him though. Definitely not buying him myself. I'd want to see him hit the ground running. And definitely Newcastle's main man. And at a reasonable price. Be interesting to see how much he is. Could be another 7.5 mil option. But if he's 7.5 mil... I would rather Wood, João Pedro, Mateta, all those guys for about the same price. We've got 1 hour till the deadline. Butter Knight says, wild, but Salah / Ekitike captain. Need a different captain. I would say Salah over Ekitike, definitely. I wouldn't captain Ekitike against Arsenal. Salah, yeah, why not? But no, I wouldn't captain Ekitike. Got to go Salah if you're going to go for a Liverpool player. Khalid says, Gameweek 3 free hit draft, Man United mid triple up. Free hit draft. Who would I have? I'd have Bruno. I would go double Man United mid if I was free hit him. I've already got him. I'd actually go in Bumo over Cunha, I think. Wood, I'd have. Probably João Pedro. Oh no, I'd have Haaland actually. Is it possible to... I think I'd go no Salah on a free hit. I think that's what I would do. Who else would I have here? Elanga? Yeah, I'm 5.4 mil short, so I'd have to go no Salah. What midfielder am I not considering here? Maybe Semenyo. Dorgu, Pope in goal, something like that on a free hit. Yeah, so Murillo, Porro, Dorgu, Bruno and Bumo, Semenyo, Elanga. Is there a forward I'm not thinking of here? I wouldn't go Richarlison. João Pedro, maybe that, yeah. 3-4-3, and then you just go Rodgers down to someone cheap like Anderson. That feels about right. And then Anderson first on bench. Something like that on a free hit. There's a few bench players to change as well there, but that would be the foundation of it. So yeah, double up I would go. Divan says, I'm thinking of going down to Gakpo from Wirtz. What do you think? Who do I get instead of Palmer? I was thinking Semenyo. Wirtz to Gakpo is way too sideways. That is not worth a transfer, in my opinion. I know Gakpo's been delivering, but it's just too sideways. It's just not worth a free transfer. Palmer replacements, yeah, I'd agree. Semenyo. If you haven't got Bruno, I'd probably put Bruno top, and then Semenyo. I mean, you could go double Liverpool mid with Gakpo. That's also an option, but I think I'd rather Bruno and Semenyo in your case. The one says, how much do you think Xavi Simons will cost? I think he's got to be not much more than Kudus, otherwise there's no reason to go for him. Maybe 7 mil, 7.5. Jordan says bench 1 out of Reinders, Saar, Mateta and Kudus. I'd go Reinders, I would say. Reinders on the bench out of those 4. Start Saar, start Mateta, start Kudus. Oh, Tim's in the building. Tim says, I think I'm going to roll this week. I'm dreading. I can't remember what your team looks like, Tim, but if you're well set up, then by all means, roll. Yeah, I can't remember what your team looks like. I'm dreading it as well, because I haven't got João Pedro, and he's something mad like 60%, isn't he? I haven't got Wood, who's going to be so heavily captained. And I'm going like Gyökeres. I'm going Gakpo. Like Gakpo's got Arsenal. Gyökeres got Liverpool. Ah. When I say it out loud. Yeah, it could be a difficult week. We'll see. We need that AI guy. What are your transfer plans? I'm looking at Strand Larsen to Gyökeres and Palmer to Gakpo. Goal scorer odds. Let's see. There they are. So Haaland 0.61 goals. Solanke. This assumes they start, which Solanke's not going to, of course. Keep that in mind. João Pedro 0.47. Richarlison 0.46. Wood 0.46. Sesko, Watkins. Gyökeres is actually higher than I thought, so that's actually quite encouraging. Salah's on 0.37, same as Palmer, who obviously won't play. Bruno, Delap won't play. Cunha. And then there's one like goal involvement, so that's like goals and assists combined. This is all on the Focal app. These odds become available for free 24 hours from the deadline, or for members, you can get them anytime. In fact, yeah, we were going to do a giveaway. 5 season memberships for the Focal app. If anyone's not got the Focal app, it's FPL Focal in the App Store. There's a link below to install it. I'm going to put a code on the screen which gives you the entire season premium membership for free. So we'll do a giveaway right now. 5 of those. So to claim the code, go through the steps like you're going to subscribe and then enter the code that's going to be on screen in a second. And whoever enters the codes first then will redeem premium membership for the whole season for free. Alright, here we go. The code is... Wait, did I do the graphic? Oh, I did. There it is. What the FPL is the code. Bad reflexes, I give up. First come, first serve. 5 of those to whoever enters it first, and that gives you the entire season for free. What the FPL is the code. So you go to subscribe on the site, enter that like you're going to check out, but you don't actually check out because it redeems the whole season for free. Let's see. Oh, they're gone already. That was rapid. Congrats whoever got them. If you haven't got the app though, there is loads of free stuff on there as well. Most of the features are free, but if you'd like to get the app, then search FPL Focal in the App Store or fpl.page from your browser. Yeah, what the FPL? I was trying to think of a good code. Anyway. You got it. Nice one, Maya. Just make sure you cancel it straight away. And then when the season ends, then it won't like carry on and charge you anything. So just cancel it. Why is your background different this year, mate? I'm in a new office. And I don't know where my green screen is. And I've given up trying to find it. Is it better with like an actual backdrop, or do you prefer the green screen, or do you not care? What was the poll again? Will Isak go to Liverpool? 66% yes, 34% no. Green screen's better. Wait, when you say better, is it better like this? Office tour. I've got to be careful because I'm in a t-shirt, but I'm streaming in my boxers because it's really hot in here. This is my signed Messi shirt. You can't see the signature. signed World Cup Messi shirt. But that's all I can do as far as I shouldn't have done that with the camera. No clothes stream. So yeah, got that. Oh yeah, I've got the play buttons for 100,000 subscribers. I got 2 of them. It's getting there. Still got stuff everywhere in the office, but it's coming along. Got some stuff behind me that I need to sort out as well. Anyway, let me get back to the questions. Sorry I'm missing so many. Boxers reveal. Are you using an old school webcam? I literally am. That's the thing in it. I've got like the play button, 200 something thousand, but I've got literally a 15 quid Amazon webcam. I don't appear in my videos though. Literally the streams are the only time that you see me, so I don't really need a fancy webcam. You can see me, can't you? It's all right. Sorry, super chats. TCK says bench boost Dubravka, King, Konsa, Strand Larsen / Saar. No, I wouldn't do that. King, I wouldn't want to bench boost King right now. Certainly not Dubravka, and Strand Larsen might not play TCK, so no, don't do it. Wade says Livramento, is he a good investment for the next 3? Yeah. Newcastle's next 2 especially, they're amazing fixtures, so I like Livramento for 5 mil. Yeah, he's a good option. Eden says Sancho, Porras, Livramento, Achiapong, Semenyo, Salah, Dango, Caicedo, Haaland, Gyökeres and Wood. Very top heavy, what are your thoughts? Yeah, it's a bit top heavy, but as far as a Salah and Haaland draft, I like it. The problem is you do have to make lots of sacrifices, don't you, when you go Salah and Haaland. Like, Caicedo's not great. I'd rather, I mean, yeah, it's a nice team. All in all. If it's a wild card, then I'd make some changes, like a different 4 mil. I'd have, like, Reinders or Anderson over Caicedo. Like, I'd probably go Reinders and Anderson over Dango and Caicedo, and then you've got a bit of money to change Achipon. But if that's your actual team, that's fine. Simon says, I've got this front 8 and 2 free transfers. Palm, Bruno, Jorginho, Reinders, Anderson and Haaland, Watkins and Bowen. What to do? Why don't you sell Bowen for Wood and Reinders to Saar? Can you afford that? Or Reinders to... Sorry. Jorginho. Sorry, not Reinders. Jorginho to Saar. Bowen to Wood. Something like that, if you can afford it. Or if not, Anderson's good. Oh, you've got Anderson already. I would just make the one transfer and bench Jorginho. Bowen to one of the 7.5 mil forwards. Probably Bowen to Wood is what I would do. Are you rolling your transfer? No, I'm going to make a couple of transfers. I'll make them a bit nearer the deadline in about half an hour. I'm looking to sell Strand Larsen and Palmer. Yeah, I'd sell Bowen. That's what I would do. And bench Jorginho. Mav says, sorry Oscar, but content creators are taking the absolute... Hang on. Content creators are taking the absolute piss this week, pushing triple United assets. Bruno captaincy. The swing is going to be wild. Tell us how you really feel, Mav. Bloody hell. On a free hit, I genuinely would have triple United. I don't think that's taking the piss. I know United are like, they just got knocked out by Grimsby, but they're home to Burnley. Like, come on a free hit. How are you not going at least double United? On a free hit, I'm definitely taking triple. Let's see what happens. Might age horribly. If Burnley win like 1-0, Amorim sacked, at least I'll probably get Bruno playing Cam again in the next manager. But I would. Free hit draft. Well, this was the free hit I put together that Mav certainly did not like. Anderson, I'd chop and change. There's 0.7 mil on the bank, but you wouldn't need to start him anyway. Divan says Semenyo from Parma and João Pedro from Gw3. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that's what most people are doing. That's what most people are doing, and maybe it's what I should be doing. But I'm actually thinking about Gyökeres for Strand Larsen instead of selling Gw3. If I sell Gw3, then I have to go Parma to Anderson. So I'm thinking about selling Strand Larsen instead. Oh, Strand Larsen kills me to sell him. I love him. I absolutely love him. But he's going to be probably 6.3 mil by Game Week 4, isn't he? TJM, thanks for your super chat as well. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Jonathan says, bring one midfielder 5 to 7 mil. You've got none. And one forward 7 to 9 mil. Got none. For Game Week 3 and same combo for Game Week 4. Bringing 2 this round and 2 for Game Week 4. Who? 2 this round, 2 for this and 2 for Game Week 4. So if I was going to get 2 for Game Week 4, I would go Sarr and Gyökeres in Game Week 4. But if I was doing it this week, I think it'd still be Sarr, but the forward would be instead someone like Wood. So Sarr and Wood this week, or Sarr Gyökeres next week. No. I think my answer would be Sarr and Gyökeres regardless. I think I'd go Sarr Gyökeres regardless. I hate how big this decision actually could be. Like Wood's fixtures are so good that I just can't shake the feeling that Gyökeres could actually end up an incredible FPL asset for 9 mil. So I'm prepared to take a chance on that. So my answer is Gyökeres, but I think most people you ask will say Wood. But I'm definitely buying Gyökeres. I just think Havertz is out for, it could be 2 months. He's on penalties. His minutes look great. I'm not necessarily put off by difficult fixtures either. So I think he's really nice. Mav, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thanks for your support, Mav. I've lost track. Where did I get to? I think it was Ailing said start Van Dijk or Anderson. Start Van Dijk. Got to start Van Dijk every game, regardless of opponent. TJM says, would you captain Bruno, Salah or Wood? Bruno. I've got Bruno and Salah, and I'm on Bruno captain. If I had Wood, If I had Wood, he'd probably be my vice captain. That's it. Bruno captain for me, which I know Mav's not going to like. James says, I'm playing FPL Challenge. Who's most likely to get DEFCON points? They get 10 extra points. Tarkowski, Murillo. They got DEFCON the most frequently last season, James. Murillo did it 19 times. I can't remember how many times Tarkowski did it, but it was in 2/3 of his games, so a lot. They're the DEFCON merchants for sure. I'd go with those two, and their fixtures aren't too bad. The difficult thing with DEFCON is players are obviously likely to get it in tougher games because they're defending more. But yeah, I would go with them. Alexi, thanks for the super chat as well. And Son with the 21 months says, would you bench Wirtz, Rodgers or Anderson? Happy 21. Wirtz, Rodgers or Anderson? I think I'd have to bench Anderson over Wirtz. Quite close though, because Anderson has got West Ham home. But I think it'd be Wirtz. I'd start Rodgers. I'd start and bench Anderson. Close one that, but yeah, start Rodgers and start Wirtz. Ian says Rodgers, Sarr, Reinders, bench 1. Oh, I think I've benched Reinders. Start Rodgers and Sarr, bench Reinders. That Air, thanks for the 8 months, says, hey Oscar, bench 1 out of Wirtz, Sarr and Reinders. Oh, these are such hard questions. Wirtz, Sarr, Reinders. I think I'd bench Wirtz. Yeah, I think I'd bench Wirtz there. Hanjo says Fulkrug, Palmer and Gw3 for Wood. For João Pedro, Wood and King 3-4-3. For a -4 that must be. why not just do Palm and full Krug out for 2 players and avoid the hit? So, I mean, I don't mind that for a -4, but I think I'd rather save the -4 and just go for someone like Bruno and then one of Wood or Pedro, or Semenyo and one of Wood and João Pedro, and then save yourself a -4. Because you're taking a hit there to sell Gw for King, basically. I think I'd rather do that. It's not a bad -4 though. That could easily be repaid straight away. But I'd prefer to do that and save the hit. What would your wildcard team be like? This was the wildcard draft I put together. Joseph says, thoughts on Richarlison over Wood? Nah, not for me. No chance. His minutes, I just don't trust his minutes enough. He's going to come off early, and if he has a bad game, Solanke could start the next one. Wood over Richarlison all day. Ty's FPS says, bench Anderson, Gakpo or Reinders? Probably. I'd probably bench Anderson out of those 3. Start Gakpo, start Reinders. There's some real benching dilemmas this week, isn't there? Let's do a chip poll, because I think there's quite a few active. Which chip have you got active? None, free hit, wildcard, other. Alright, let me just flick over, see what's going on Twitter. Any leaks or anything like that. What's the first game today? Is it one that we could even get leaks for? Oh, we've got 2,900 watching. Whoa, thank you all for being here. Awesome turnout. Nkunku's left Chelsea. Oh, Nkunku. You know what the mad thing is? Last season, I made way more mistakes in my Gameweek 1 team, but started way better than this season. I know the season's long, like I'm not worried right now. But last season I had Nkunku, I had Kwanzaa. Luckily I avoided Barco. That would have been a hat trick of disasters. But I really don't dislike my team this season. I mean, the injuries have been annoying, but I think the players picked have genuinely been okay choices. But yeah, Nkunku, thanks for the memories. By the time I sold Kwanzaa last season, he was like 4.1 mil. Absolutely killer that was. Ended up top 5k by Gameweek 38, and I was like something like 3 million in Gameweek 7. So if you're having a slow start like me, long way to go. Things can change fast. Freak says, Cunha, Salah or João Pedro captain? I would go Cunha, home to Burnley. Famous last words, but I still think you back that fixture. That's why I'm on Bruno captain. Bertman says Palmer to Bruno and then captain him, but bank the money difference and save the other transfer. Or roll and start Anderson and come back with 3. No, I'd make the transfer, but I think it's worth it when you don't have Bruno especially. Make the transfer, save the other. Simon says pros and cons of using a wildcard during the international break. Well, pros, you can react to price changes, maybe make a bit of profit. You can react to injuries. Are there any cons? I don't think there are any cons. The only cons is obviously like it could be other weeks that could be better. Like Gameweek 6 I'm considering. Gameweek 13 there's a big fixture swing. But yeah, I mean I think that's pretty much it. That's the tweet. If there's any others that I've forgotten, let me know in chat, but I think that's pretty much it. If anyone's joining late and wondering what transfers I'm making, I'll tell you where I'm at. I'm thinking Strand Larsen to Gyökeres and Palmer to Gakpo. That's what I'm looking at doing this week. But I seem to be the only one that's thinking of doing it, which is a bit worrying. Lots of people are going like Saar and Wood. So I think Gyökeres could be someone that ends up in everyone's teams. Not everyone's, but you know, there's a fixture swing Gameweek 7, but I think the next few are actually not bad fixtures for Arsenal for a striker. Love the videos, keep up the good work. Thank you, Tyler, appreciate that. Just roll. I'm not rolling with this. Mate, I'll have Anderson and a Stev off my bench. There's no chance I'm rolling. Best 5 mil mid. I think it'd have to be Dewsbury Hall, Danny, but he's not great. But I think he's probably the best. Maybe Stack, actually, from Leeds. Yeah, maybe Stack. I think that's how you say his name. I think he's 5 mil. I think I'd probably go with him. Him or Dewsbury Hall. Mosiah says, play Concert or Richards. I noticed Crystal Palace are better away. I'd start Concert though. Start Concert with the home fixture. Better clean sheet odds. Who's the most bought this week then? Oh my god, looking at these most transfer, I don't have any of them. 1.1 million people have bought Semenyo. Are any of you one of those? 959,000 have bought João Pedro. Oh, I'm actually ruined if he hauls this game week. I'm not looking forward to not owning João Pedro. With Palmer out and he's on pens. Wood as well, almost 1 million new owners. Johnson, Richarlison, Kuz, Ekitike, Gakpo, Kukurea. So who's the most sold? 2.8 million. That's got to be a record. I reckon that's a new all-time record. I reckon official FPL will fact check that and tweet it later if that's true. How we doing, Hassan? FPL Focal Town. 2.8 million have sold Palmer. About 1 million have sold Saka. Frimpong, Verts, Nori, Watkins. Yeah, that Watkins price was annoying, but I'm keeping him. Bowen, Gw3, Wan-Bissaka. Andrea says, I've got Saka, Palmer and Frimpong. What do you think of a free hit and seeing who's fit after the break instead of doing a transfer? I think there's going to be better free hit weeks potentially. I don't hate the free hit this week, but I think I'd probably save it in your position and just spend a transfer or two fixing Saka and Palmer. Saka's the more priority if you're only selling one, but it's really unlucky to have 3 like that. I think I'd save the free hit though. I think you might get more out of it in another week, but it's not a bad free hit week when you've got 3 problems like that. Initial thoughts were just sell those players, or 2 of them if you can, and save the free hit. Very unlucky to have 3 injuries this early on. Word is Barnes is out. Yeah, I've been hearing that. I'll have a check if there's a more reliable source. But yeah, that's word on the street. Tuna says Palmer, Gw3 to Semenyo and Wood and bench Reinders. Yeah, I like that. This is kind of the one that keeps popping up this week. People are selling Gw3 to Wood by funding it from Palmer downgrade to like a Sarr or Semenyo. The only thing I'll say on Sarr and Semenyo is they're both extremely good options, and just check like what the extra money will allow you to do, because I think they're 0.8 million apart now. Like if you've got 0.8 million, I was saying at the start of the stream, that's like going Romero or Nico Williams to Munoz for Sunderland home in Gameweek 4, or that's like doing Rodgers to Gakpo in Gameweek 4 when he's got Burnley. Stuff like that. So you have to also look at what you can do with the money. But I think Semenyo overall is better than Sarr. But it's about the combinations and what you can do with the extra money. Thank you all for being here, by the way. You've got half an hour till deadline. Do hit like on the stream if you are liking it, or obviously dislike if you are disliking it. And hit subscribe as well. Philip says, Arsenal attack without Saka and Ødegaard, is it a problem? Saka's only going to miss a few weeks, so he could be back like Game Week 5. Ødegaard, I heard, has got a chance of making the game as well. So I don't think it's a huge issue. And also they've made like some great signings. Like if it ends up Ødegaard makes the game, Saka doesn't, then Eze and Madueke is like still very good wingers to have playing out in Saka's absence. Or it could be Martinelli and Eze playing the Ødegaard role. Alexander says, have you considered Strand Larsen and Palmer to Semenyo and João Pedro of 2 mil in the bank? I have. I think I prefer Gyökeres over João Pedro longer term. But I do hate that it's quite a big decision, because if if João Pedro hauls again this week, I could still get to him selling Watkins, but I don't want to sell Watkins with the fixtures he's got. And I did consider going João Pedro first and then Watkins to Gyökeres later. But I think I prefer it this way round with my transfers. And I think I'd buy Wood over João Pedro. But then I'd want to sell Wood after the next 4 games. So it's like a transfer in and back out. So yeah, in terms of my transfers, I'll go through what I'm thinking. So it'll be Strand Larsen to Gyökeres. And then Palmer to Gakpo. And then I may wildcard in game week 6. So I'd get Arsenal home, Burnley away, Everton home. Might not wildcard. I could free hit in 6 instead. Also depends what happens with Isak. I think in theory his minutes should be secure for the next 3 game weeks, maybe more. So he's a bit of a short-term pick. The alternative is Semenyo. I need to find out a way to move this across, because this new website layout just doesn't make sense. Like, why is that over on the right side? Just put it in the middle of the screen. Anyway, yeah, he's got Tottenham away, Brighton home, Newcastle home. So like, if I did go wildcard 6, then it's not... The fixtures aren't nearly as good. But yeah, I think... I don't know, it's just a gut feeling again on Gyökeres. Also, I should say, like, the models do really like him as well, and I do look at the models to help guide decisions. And the models had the Wood and Semenyo combination equally good, so you can go either way. Like, both are good routes. So instead, I could do Semenyo and Wood or João Pedro, and then sell Gw instead and keep Strand Larsen. But I quite like this as like a 3-week play. Liverpool's a better attack than Bournemouth. Yeah, exactly. And Gakpo's played 2 90s in a row, so... I tweeted about Gakpo in the pre-season, and I wish I'd followed through with it. I said, are we all sleeping on Gakpo? And I wasn't confident enough to go through with it, because I wasn't sure about the whole Isak situation. And it could still be a problem, but in hindsight, I could go activate the wildcard in Game Week 6 and just get myself out of Gakpo if he ends up like a bad choice. But I think he's alright for the next 3. But I've seen everyone buying like Wood, João Pedro, Semenyo, Sarr, so I wouldn't recommend like necessarily copying this, because this could go horribly wrong. But that's where I'm at, and I don't think I'm going to change my mind last minute. Anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Good moves or bad moves? Nick says, would you hold Palmer here? Sanchez, Porro, Milenkovic, Murillo, Bruno, Reinders, Cunha, Gakpo, João Pedro, Watkins, Mateta, and the benches Dubravka, Munoz, Beal and Palmer. Yeah, I actually would. I actually would keep him in your situation. You've got a perfectly fine starting 11. Nothing wrong with that. I would keep him, yeah. That's what I would have loved to have done myself, if I could. I would love to have kept Palmer if I had better depth. But my hand's been forced. I said in the team selection video, reluctantly I'm looking to roll. But I've ended up with Strand Larsen as well, so like, it's just forced my hand completely. I can't be playing Anderson and Esteve, like... So I'm going to make 2 transfers. Use both my free transfers. Bram says, I've got Strand Larsen and Palmer. Reinders and Juve on the bench. No free transfer. Should I take a hit? I might wildcard Game Week 4 and prepare for a BV in Game Week 5. Is that a bench boost, you mean? No free transfers and you've got Strand Larsen and Palmer. This is why I always make transfers really late, because stuff can happen that completely changes the complexion of your game week. Like, you've got no transfers and you've got 2 players out. Well, Strand Larsen is not certainly out, but it seems like, according to the rumours, he will be. Palmer, Maresca said, is out, not called up for England. If you haven't got Bruno, then I'd do Palmer to Bruno. Something like that's worth a hit. I don't know if... Oh, sorry, you've got Reinders on your bench. Like, what are you asking me here? You're saying you've got Strand Larsen, Palmer, Reinders and Juve on the bench. So you start Reinders. Just start Reinders. That's fine. Not worth a hit if you can just start Reinders. Fudgy says Palmer to Semenyo, Gw to Wood, but I'm benching Semenyo. No goals or assists in his record against Spurs. Frank's also set up well. Mate, I hope that comes true, because I'm a double Spurs defence. Yeah, Palmer to Semenyo, Gw to Wood, benching Semenyo. I don't dislike that. I think that's fine. What I will say about Semenyo, though, is he does deliver against teams you least expect it. Like last season, I had him when he was 5.5. I benched him against City and he scored. I benched him against Chelsea and he scored. I benched him against United, but I guess that's not too bad, and he scored. So, yeah, I wouldn't put it past him to score against Spurs, but I think that makes sense to bench him, depending on who the rest of your team anyway. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think a lot of people are doing that. Like, if they're going Sarr and Wood, for example, and you have to bench Sarr, like, so be it. Luke says, what puts you off Ekitike and Kudus? I'm just not sold on Kudus yet, honestly. At Liverpool, just a way better attack. And I think Gakpo, with those next 3 fixtures, obviously not so much this week, I think Gakpo could be... I don't know, I think he's better than Kudus, basically. And I think Sarr is better than Kudus as well. Right, nip into the toilet. Be right back. 2 seconds. Oh, I've got to be careful because I'm in my boxes. Where's the cat? There he is. Right, I'm back. Oh, I forgot my AirPods. Sorry, I'm back. And so is the cat. Alright. Can't hear anything. Where's the music? Right, sorry. Is the music playing? No. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Right, sorry about that. Wicked's Bladder Award goes to me. Yeah, in terms of the strikers, I think Ekitike is... I think there's better options. I know he's got the most points. But I'd rather have Wood, I'd rather have João Pedro... I'd rather have Mateta than Ekitike right now. And I'd rather have Sarr and Semenyo over Kudus. I just think they're more solid picks. There's no music. Oh. Should be. Can you not hear that? Yeah, I heard Barnes is out. NUFC will reporting it. He's a bit hit and miss, his record in the past. He's I wouldn't say he's like that reliable, but I don't think he would tweet that for no reason, because that's quite a bold statement. So it's probably true if anyone was looking at buying him or had him on a free hit. Cherky is ruled out of Man City's trip to Brighton this weekend with a thigh injury. So hopefully that means Gonzalez, CDM, and we see Reinders bombing forward, playing more advanced like he was Game Week 1. Yeah, no leaks at the moment. Don't think we'll get any, to be honest with you. Right, how long we got? 20 minutes. I'm going to make my transfers soon. I'll probably give it like another 10 minutes. Wellstone says Semenyo versus Sarr. I'm going Gyökeres for Strand Larsen, and I own Salah / Verts. I mean, I think Semenyo's better. But it's like I was saying earlier, it depends on what you can do with the extra money. And yes, I'm checking my phone, Bateman, if you're watching. What was the questions? It was Semenyo versus Sarr, Gyökeres for Strand Larsen. Yeah, it's what you can do with the extra money. Semenyo is like 0.8 million more. So it's like I was saying earlier, Romero to Gyökeres, Rodgers to Gakpo. It opens the door to lots of extra interesting moves. Or if you've got Strand Larsen, it could be Strand Larsen to Evan Nilsson Game Week 4. So it really depends on what you can do with the money. Semenyo is better, but not considerably. So I think Sarr's good if he means you're more flexible, your team's more robust. Because that's actually such a big thing in FPL, having a robust team. And that's what scared me a bit about the moves I was making with exact money. Because I was looking at Gw to Gyökeres, Palmer to Dango, but that left me with nothing in the bank. So like, what happens if Strand Larsen leaves for Newcastle and he's back up, or he doesn't start Game Week 4 or whatever? There's no way you can go with 6.5 mil. You can go Thiago, but I don't really want to buy Thiago. So having a robust team is important, and having money in the bank is important in FPL, so you're flexible. Fudgy says Bruno, Salah, Rodgers, Sarr, Mateta, Watkins, Woods, Semenyo on the bench. What's the question, Fudgy? Who to bench? I think it'd have to be Sarr. Out of all of those, I'd bench Sarr. So you start Bruno, Salah, Rodgers, Semenyo, Mateta, Watkins, Wood. I'm sorry for all the missed questions, by the way. I'm trying to get through them as fast as possible. Mark says, will Gw3 start with the possible transfer to Liverpool looming? I'm also on triple captain Wood. I mean, yeah, with that one, we're kind of guessing whether there's actually a definite transfer happening or not. Because obviously, behind the scenes, if they put in a bid and it's been accepted, then obviously Liverpool will say we don't want him to play. You know, it's like with Arsenal and Eze. Sadly, Eze played his last game and he didn't know at the time that was definitely his last game. He didn't get to do like a goodbye and all that. Arsenal said, we're having you, that's it. He didn't play in Europe. No one can tell you that really, besides those that know what's happening in the Liverpool boardrooms and what bids are happening and what requests they're asking. I mean, they do need a centre-back, but will they pay that for Gw3 or will they wait until next summer and get him for free? If I was to guess, I'd say he starts. It's a bit last minute now, isn't it? Mad says, would you free hit if you had injured Palmer, Saka, Aït-Nouri, Cherky, Barry, and 3 from Arsenal, Liverpool, and Ekitike, Verts, and Gyökeres? You're probably not going to want to hear this 20 minutes from deadline, but I think I'd wildcard Mads. Because if you free hit, you're getting all those players back. So you still have Cherky, you've still got Barry, you've still got Saka who's out, you've got Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri's okay actually, he's available, but I would wildcard Mads. I did put together a draft, so at least that will help. It was that. That was what I put together if I was wildcarding. So you could use that as a starting point, but I think I'd wildcard because, like I say, you free hit, you're getting back these players that you really don't want long term. Palmer's okay after the break. Saka will still be a problem. Cherky will still be a problem. Barry probably will be. Verts I'd probably get rid of and so on. Yeah. Dimitri says, Palmer to Gakpo's done. Same forwards as you, but in midfielder I have Wilson flagged. The plan is wildcard 13, free hit 6. Should I use another transfer or roll for the international break? 3 mil on the bank. Depends who you're starting if you keep hold of Wilson, Dimitri. Like, it depends on your bench depth. Because you can do Wilson to Semenyo, Sarr, Gakpo. They're all great options. But transfers are king in FPL. So if you can roll extra transfers, I'd always prioritise that when possible. But I can't answer without knowing who's on your bench. Palmer to Elanga or Semenyo from Tropical. Semenyo over Elanga. Wazza says Semenyo versus Johnson versus any other for Palmer. Yeah, my number one would be Bruno if you haven't got him. After that, I'd say Semenyo and then Sarr. It depends on chip strategy though. I'm looking to buy Gakpo because I might wildcard in Gameweek 6, and I think for 3 weeks, Gakpo potentially is even higher ceiling than Semenyo or Sarr. So I'm looking at Gakpo in for Palmer and Strand Larsen to Gyökeres. Liam says, wildcard Larsen, Gw3, Verts, Palmer, Konsa, Wan-Bissaka, Gyökeres for Pedro, Ekitike, Semenyo, Reinders, Livramento, Timber and Wood. Is it worth it to use the wildcard so early? Depends how many transfers you've got. If you've got one, I think you could just about justify it. I think I'd go Gabriel over Timber, by the way. But other than that, yeah, I like the players you've brought in. If you've only got one transfer, I'd probably do it. Because you've got Palmer and Strand Larsen probably out. Wan-Bissaka's not great. Vert's not great. Wan-Bissaka not great. Konsa is okay. If you've got one transfer, Liam, I would do it, yeah. So, 81% no chip, 9% free hit, 7% wildcard, 3% other. Let's stick a final captain poll up. Who's your captain? Salah, Haaland, Bruno, and other. Maybe I should go Wood over Salah. Maybe that'll be more popular. Novus, thanks for the 34 months. Says, hi, Captain Bruno or Haaland benches Evan Nilsson and Dewsbury. I would bench. I think I'd captain Haaland over Bruno if I had Haaland. So captain Haaland, Bruno vice, bench Evan Nilsson or Dewsbury, bench Dewsbury Hall definitely. Jack says, hey Oscar, on a free hit, Haaland, Gyökeres or Watkins for third striker. Other two options are João Pedro and Wood. On a free hit, I'd go Haaland, Wood and João Pedro. That would be my front three. If you need some inspiration, I might have lost it actually, the free hit team I put together. Where was it? Was it that? Yeah, that was the free hit team. So it was Haaland, João Pedro, Wood. If I was free hitting, it would be that. We could go Dango over Semenyo, something like that. You need to sort out Esteve and Anderson, but that would be the core of it if I was free hitting. Oscar says, post your experts video. Have most now transferred out Palmer? Feels like the views have changed. What are your views on replacements for him? I think the Strand Larsen injury has definitely pushed a few managers into now selling. I don't know what they've done after the video. I asked them before I make the video, what are you doing? But I don't ask again after the video is complete, have you changed your mind on anything? So sometimes there are changes from what happens in the video to what happens by the deadline. It's not normally significant changes. Elia, thank you very much for becoming an FPL Focal Elite member. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate your support. Yeah, I have a feeling more will have sold now. because of Strand Larsen, for example. What are my views on replacements? I think Semenyo, Bruno, Gakpo, Sarr are all great. I'm looking to go Palmer to Gakpo, Strand Larsen to Gyökeres. Dr. Yazan, how are we doing? He says, hey bro, hope you're doing well. Captain Wood versus Haaland. I would go Haaland. Haaland over Wood if I was picking between the two. He'd be my #1 captain this week. On the captain widget, he was actually second. Oh, it's updated. Here's the latest. Bruno 5 stars, Haaland 3, Salah, Cunha and Bumo 2 stars. Yeah, so Bruno heavily favoured on the captain widget. I need to make my transfer in a minute, so no more super chats, please, because I need to sort my transfer and tweet it and tweet my team. Anurag says, hi Oscar, must have been asked 100 times. Sorry, got late. 2 free transfers in the banks. Brian, Salah, Rogers, Bruno, Palmer, Watkins, João Pedro, Guestev and Anderson on the bench. Palmer to Semenyo, or use both transfers. In your case, you don't need to make the second move. You can just make the one move and play the 3-5-2. So Watkins, João Pedro up front. Reinders, Salah, Rogers, Bruno, Semenyo. Yeah, you don't need to make a second move. Otherwise, you have to bench Reinders. Is that worth a transfer to bench Reinders? Alright, let's have a quick look on Twitter. I need to make my transfers in a second. I'm seeing some Bruno and Cunha owners. Interesting. If you're on a free hit, did you go triple United midfield or not? Right, I need to make my transfers. Doesn't look like there's going to be any leaks. I don't think we ever get any for the first game anyway, do we? When it's Chelsea. Is it Chelsea first today? Yeah. Right, Palmer to Gakpo. Strand Larsen to Gyökeres. Palmer to Gakpo. Strand Larsen to Gyökeres. Done. So Bruno captain. Salah vice, that looks right. Screenshot that. Gameweek 3. Palmer. Strand Larsen to Gyökeres. Gameweek 3, Strand Larsen to Gyökeres, Palmer to Gakpo. Very close call between Gakpo and Semenyo. Might wildcard in 6, hence the short-term punt on Gakpo. Good luck all. Bench is right, perfect. Post. Triple Captain Wood? Surely not. Right, let me try and get through chat messages. I'm not going to get through all the super chats, so please don't send any more. I'm going to try and get through these as quick as I can. Palmer to Foden, you think he starts? No, don't buy Foden. Palmer replacements, Bruno's good, Semenyo, Gakpo, Sarr, I would say. Akshat says, should I take a hit to do Strand Larsen to Pedro Wood or play Anderson Fulham? I would take the hit, yeah, take the hit. I think I prefer Wood to João Pedro just about. RPM says, tempted to wildcard, so I've got Palmer, Jorginho's risk, as well as Bowen, Wirtz, Rodgers, who I see as issues. I do have two free transfers, though. If you've got 2 transfers, save it. Save it. Sell Palmer, sell Jorginho, I think is what I would do there. So you could do Palmer to Bruno if you haven't got him, or Palmer to Semenyo, and then Jorginho to the other one, whichever you don't have. Semenyo, Sarr, all good. Gakpo's good. Swano says, and Mo, Sarr, Ndoye, Richarlison, Haaland, Wood, are they all good? Yeah? Yeah, all great picks. Richarlison I'm not keen on, but if you've already got him already, like, fine. Frank said he's his number 9 right now, so I think he's fine to keep. Bournemouth home, nice fixture. Longer term I'd be a bit worried about him, but he's alright for the time being. I prefer, obviously they cost more, but I prefer Wood, João Pedro. Who's the other one? Mateta. Ain says, Wirtz or Ndiaye to bench. Oh, I think I'd bench Wirtz. I think, yeah. Wirtz bench, start and die. Given he's got Wolves and he's on pens. Start and die. Mark says, hi Oscar, thanks for last week's advice. I avoided the free hit temptation and stuck to the pre-season strategy of rolling until the first international break. Good luck, everyone. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, I hope being patient paid off for you. I really wanted to roll this week. I didn't want to make any transfers, but when I've got Palmer out and Strand Larsen likely out, I've just kind of forced my hand a bit. So, yeah, I ended up making the 2 moves. So I'm locked in. Why are you putting Gyökeres in? It's 2 reasons. Number 1, Havertz is out for potentially a couple of months, so his minutes are good. Number 2, he's on penalties. And I don't think bad fixtures on paper are actually bad for Arsenal. Like, I think there'll be plenty of goals in these games. Liverpool, Forest, City, Newcastle. When you go look at the head-to-head results of these games in the past, they're not like 0-0 games actually. So I really like Gyökeres, and if he does do well in those weeks, I think everyone's going to end up on him anyway. So I'm trying to get ahead of the template. Game week 7 is when the fixtures really get amazing. West Ham, Fulham, Palace, Burnley, Sunderland. So I'm hoping he's a long-term buy. Palmer and Bowen to Wood and Fernandes or Sarr from Vicaz. Palmer and Bowen to Wood and Fernandes or Sarr. Wood and Fernandes is what I would do there. Yeah, go Wood and Bruno. Struggling with this game, says Wood or Pedro. I prefer Wood. I think both are great. Mateta is good as well. Honestly, all 3 are genuinely equal, I would say. But if I had to pick one, I'd say Wood. Just because 3 of the next 4 are incredible fixtures. So I'd say Wood. Joshua Gray says Elanga or Barnes. There's a rumour that Barnes is out, so I wouldn't chance it based on that, and I'd go Elanga. Ndoye or Elanga? Elanga. Is this team confirmed? Yeah, this is me locked in now. I'm locked in now. Yeah, so that's me. Sanchez, Murillo, Porro, Romero, Salah, Gakpo, Bruno, Rodgers, Reinders, Gyökeres and Watkins. Bruno captain. Why Gakpo over someone like Kudus? I just think as a short-term play, Gakpo looks really nice. I think he's going to start the next 3. And if you look at his minutes, I think we're being too harsh on Gakpo's minutes as well. He's played back-to-back 90s. Even if Liverpool joins, I don't expect Gakpo to just immediately drop to the bench. Like, he's not had a pre-season, Isaac. It's going to take him some time to get up to speed if he does join. So I think for the next 3, all in all, Gakpo's really nice. And I regret not having him game week 1 because I was tweeting about him in pre-season. And fairness, like everyone was saying, there is the Isaac factor, and I didn't disagree with that, and that put me off. But now I look at it again, the next 3 are really nice, and I might wildcard game week 6. I might free hit game week 6, I'm not sure yet, but I think he's a nice short-term pick compared to a Semenyo. Sarr is the one that I was really tempted by as well. I think Semenyo, Sarr are really nice. The big call for me was Gw to Wood, and then Palmer to Sarr or Semenyo. Or I get rid of Strand Larsen, and instead I can afford someone like a Gakpo. So I'm now hoping that Strand Larsen misses this game week, and there is truth to that. And then he's got Newcastle, where I have to hope he blanks. And then I can get Strand Larsen back in. So that's me locked in. I'm going to a wedding today, so I'm not going to be around, and I'm going to have to shoot the second the deadline passes. So with these last 2 minutes, getting your last minute questions in. Thank you all for being here. Do hit like before you go. Make sure you subscribed. I appreciate you all turning up. Isn't Doi a good pick? I probably wouldn't chance him. You really love Strand Larsen, don't you? I do. I actually love Strand Larsen. He's brilliant. He served me so well last season. Everyone went João Pedro last season. I went Strand Larsen. And I got a couple of braces from Strand Larsen. So I'm devastated about the injury. And I mean, I hope he doesn't go to Newcastle because he won't be nailed anymore. And I might end up buying him back in like Gameweek 5 when the fixtures are nice again for Wolves. But yeah, in the interim, I had to sell. Well, I didn't have to. I could have done the Gw route, but it's done. Good luck to all of you this game, Mick. I hope you all smash it. I hope you get big green arrows. Is Better going to start? Probably. Why did I say I've got 2 transfers? I did have. I've just spent them both. So I'm on 0 now. So I'll have 1 transfer in Gameweek 4. Go to the wedding in your boxes. I'm going to miss all the games, which is devastating, but it is a wedding. Weddings are always fun, so there is that. But yeah, I'll miss all the games, so I probably won't be tweeting or anything even. I might keep an eye on I'll keep an eye on the scores. Might tweet the bonus points if they're not saying their vowels or something. I'll be in the middle of the vowels and then I'll be like, Bruno! Boxer reveal now. No. Right, that's it. I'm dipping. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you'll smash it this game week. Big green arrows. Obviously, I won't be back for a couple of weeks because it's an international break, which we don't like. But I'll do a transfer plans video probably tomorrow. I might do something on Monday, like a wildcard team for the international break. So still a couple of videos to go. Yeah, as I say, I hope you all have a great game week, a great weekend, and I will see you in the not too distant future. Focal out.